was like, I love this customer service, never say no, always make it happen. Mostly celebrities in New York, which is funny because we've never advertised it.
We're so excited today. We have Diana Ford in with us today from The Vault. And if you want to know about the most exclusive resale store in the country, this is the woman to talk to. So we're so excited to have you.
Thank you.
Tell me what happened coming up. Like, where were you, when you were little to where you are now?
I had a great childhood, loving parents that are still together today. I think they're married 54 years maybe.
Wow.
My mother, her childhood was homeless much of her earlier years, and just kind of a Thelma and Louise kind of interesting childhood. She had an alcoholic father. She drove cross country when she was 13, just her and her mother. Wow. And so I think the way she raised us is she kind of wanted that more stable beaver cleaver
type of household.
So I didn't get all the adventure she had, but I definitely reaped the benefits of how spontaneous she is and just positive. Because although she had so many crazy, upbringing situations, everything was always framed as a positive because her mother was like that.
That's terrific.
Even when she was homeless in the park, her mother said, "We get to stay here all night and you are first to be on the swings tomorrow. And these poor kids have to go home."
What was the pivotal moment where you were like, okay, I'm going to really understand who I am and kind of get to where I want to go? And
I was young. I was in college and I was working. My first real job was at the Ritz-Carlton, and I was gift shop girl and concierge. And it was here that I found my love of luxury. From the hand soaps to the, blue goblets that they use to the luxurious robes that the guests would have. I was hooked. I was like, I love this customer service, never say no, always make it happen. And it was like a challenge every day for me. And while I was here, I heard about a job at Merritt's Travel, which was an incentive travel company. And there was a position called travel director where you would travel for 300 days a year with Fortune 500 companies. And
so what's better than that?
Nothing. And this experience at the Ritz really was training for that.
Okay.
Yeah, because I would just, somebody would be in home base planning a trip, and then they would hand me the manual and say, go to Antarctica or go to Switzerland and make my dream on paper happen. And so we would make it happen. Now, at this point in my life, 10 years at Merritt's. Okay. So I did 3 years where I traveled nonstop, just on location. And then the next 7 years, I went inside and planned these trips. And I decided that I wanted to be my own boss. So although Merritt's was phenomenal, I was ready to go out on my own. And if I could move groups of, corporate travelers throughout 7 continents, I can easily do something on my own, 10 women, take them to New York. So I started the shopping company, and then I could travel whenever I wanted to travel. So I'd put a trip out there to Scottsdale or Chicago or Paris, and then I'd get people to pay me to take them, and we would have the ultimate girls trip. And it was so fun.
And all different people.
All different people, not just from St. Louis, from all over. And at some point, my mother, who was had run her store, her resale shop, I just went in to steal clothes every weekend. She said, "You can come here now because I am at a point where I can pay your salary that you're making, and you could still do shopping company, but you could do all of our events." So I started their events. And what they would do is like happy hours. And then when they brought me on, I made major events. We did an event one time called All Dressed Up and No Place to Go. And we had over 100 women show up. Like, one woman showed up in her wedding dress. One woman showed up in a skin tight, like over the top sexy dress. She's like, "I bought it, but it's too risque to wear anywhere, so I wore it to this." People would show up in Manolo Blahniks or Louboutins that are stunning, but they're so uncomfortable that you can't really wear them for a whole night.
Sure.
And it was just those kind of out of the box parties that we threw.
So for the Vault, you go to places
everywhere.
all
Yeah.
over the country.
Right.
Tell me about the...
So in store every day, we look at 1,000 items, and we aren't consignment. We buy outright. We pay you on the spot for your items. In addition to 1,000 items a day, every day in store, we also go to New York, Beverly Hills, Nashville. But New York, we Upper East Side, Soho, Upper West Side now, mostly celebrities in New York, which is funny because we've never advertised it. We did have a show, television show, Resale Royalty. We got 2 celebrities, and it's like they tell their friends.
That's so fun.
Yeah.
Then it seemed like that transitioned into more of charity work.
Yes.
And so just share with me some of the other opportunities that you've had in
Yeah.
terms of putting some of these amazing events together.
When we found this 7,000 square foot space,
Yes.
one thing very important to us was that we could throw events, because we were doing it in our previous space and making do, but it wasn't like they had a huge center that we could seat a fashion show or have past hors d'oeuvres. So this space had that. And what we decided is we would give back majorly. We've always given back, but we would give back majorly in this new space through events. We do all the food, the bar, and anything else custom that the client wants, and donate a portion of sales. And all this, the not-for-profits or any charity has to do is show up with 25 to 175 people. So we have written checks, for 1,700, for 3,000, for 5,000, and they just showed up, and they don't have to spend all of their money on the venue and the food and we underwrite all that. So it's been a great way for us to be more educated about not-for-profits in our community. We've worked with Boys Club, Girls Club, YWCA, Dolls, Operation Food Search.
And that's probably what makes you feel...
It does.
That,
it's amazing that we
can
do something for others, and because we get so much back from it.
Awesome. Thank you so much for everything you do. These women's stories are so impactful. Arras Sisters creates opportunities for women.